On June the 22nd, 1948, Tilbury Docks saw the arrival of HMT Empire Windrush carrying 492 passengers from Jamaica. This was what was known as the Windrush generation. The Windrush generation cannot and should not be forgotten. This is so important when we're thinking about community and when relating to Paul's story, what this meant for Paul and his family.
Been involved early. Oh, what a start!
I remember distinctly at the age of 5 that's when I told myself I want to be a professional footballer.
Paul Canaville was born in London on March the 4th, 1962. Paul was the first black player for Chelsea's senior team, and his story is a true representation of the word belonging and what it means to belong and be part of a community.
If I could just close my eyes and just look at myself as a 3-year-old, dead end and cars you could hear always came down. You used to play in the middle of the road, and when you saw the car come up from the top here, everybody moved to the side onto the pavement till the car went past, and we went back in the road and played again. And I remember distinctly, obviously there was a alley down the bottom there that went to the next road. It's number 3, Cherry Avenue. In that house, there was 5 families. Mum got that room through a family friend, which was my dad's friend.
Which was very common.
That's how you got somebody knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a kid, you don't realise what you had to do, how you had to pay for that, you know what I mean? Afford to get rent, food, and at that time we're providing to go to school clothes. We don't think of that as kids, but that's what she had to do. And boy.
And it was you, your mum and your sister in the one room.
In the one room.
And then shared kitchen,
shared bathroom. Can you imagine the time that people went in, you had to wait, there's food that had to be cooked at a certain time and get your dinner. Oh man.
So how long did you live here, Paul?
That's a good question, though. I know from 3, 4, 5, 8, we moved to Cranley. I must have been about, when we just started secondary.
Okay.
So that would have been 10. Your mum got that flat there, and as you can see, up there was 159 is the house that my mum and sister lived in. Oh man, I cannot forget that yard where I first cooked that chicken soup. Right there, that's the kitchen. I'm grateful for Mum for teaching me how to cook at the age of 12.
Wow.
11, and that was I'll tell you how she did it. It's classic. She was going to work Saturday, and she just called me into the kitchen, and she just said, "Sit down there, watch what I'm doing." Mum made chicken soup.
Yeah.
And that was cool, and I'm thinking, okay. Until 2 Saturdays went. And she went to work, she said, "Cook the chicken soup." And I had to remember everything she'd done. And that was the best thing for me, because after that soup came out brilliant.
Yep.
And it helped me to cook anything I wanted. That was even biscuits. So when she was at work, me and my sister come home from school, I went in there with the almond flavour, busting baking biscuits before my mum come back, would chew that up. And bam, providing, because them time there, you know how the Caribbean, they put the cake in and lock the room. All the cake and biscuit was locked up in the sitting room. But no, Paul can cook now. What she done there was obviously for me to have my own independence. You know what I mean? You only have to show me, even if you took me to somewhere, for one, it could be far. I would know how to get back there.
Yeah.
You know what I
See,
mean?
and this is really important, like, because that says a lot about your brain and how your brain works. It's not all about can you memorise all of these things. Some people learn different, you know, and that's important.
It was for me.
Primary school?
It certainly was. You know what? Big days. It was black and Asians. And with mum working at Walls, it was like she made a lot of Asian friends and she got invited to a lot of Asians' parties and so forth. So I got on well. School was something, I think for me, sports developed. Loved here because I played football for both, all the age groups. My age group, the older age group, the age group older than that.
They needed you for all of them.
Oh man, I just loved it. So
So this was primary school
yes,
and it was okay.
yes.
How was secondary school?
It was a boys' school. Obviously now I'm developing to the sports. I think the teachers, well the PE teachers, sports teachers knew how good I was.
Yeah.
And so obviously the team, Brentside, we were, notorious and winning a lot of the cups and leagues and so forth. It was funny because I remember the position I used to play at school was the centre half. And for me now, when I started professional football, I used to play a left winger, which changed totally. So, but it was like after one season, they changed it to a mixed, and that was shocking.
So it's all boys, and then suddenly you had girls
next
coming
thing
in.
we've been told, it's next season it's all girls, it's a girls and mixed school. We went, oh no, we don't want girls here, and I can see why we didn't want.
So hold on, you didn't want girls?
No, man, it changed the whole aspect of the school.
Okay.
The boys did not concentrate on sports no more.
Oh, right.
Did not
Okay,
concentrate on
yeah,
work.
yeah.
Girls were there. It's a case of Paul can't make training. What do you mean you can't make training? Going out. Oh my God. I was the only one who literally was the only one survivor that took my football serious. I was at training where everybody, where's everybody? Can't make it this week. Football was my girl. You don't realise when you're a youngster, a child, about the community, about belonging, until you make friends.
Yeah.
And when you make friends and you bond,
There's nothing like it.
Nothing
So you
like
were
it.
happy, you were happy.
I was happy, don't get me wrong.
At
I
school?
think, at school, I could say I was happy. I think I wanted a male figure. I didn't have that. And Dad obviously left when I was 1. So it was just me, my mum and my sister. And I did miss that. A manager that we had called Dish. I used to meet him on a Saturday or on a Sunday because Dish, he was like a father figure, which I needed. But he looked after us boys. And some of us got in trouble, but he'd come and bail us out. But we played football for him.
Do you feel like if you didn't have that sport element, your whole school life would have felt different?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could have done or would have been doing,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, if I didn't have that. Right here was obviously when I played Wembley. I was about 11, 10, 11. And we used to play Wembley. I always wanted to beat Brazil. And I was that good that most of the older white boys always had to kick me. We were the only two black families in that estate. Oh, God. Was that cry? Kept to yourself. The young boys at my age, I got on with them. Their older brothers, that was a bit naughty and racially naughty.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly playing outside the gate. We'll probably see the gates where I used to play World Cup. And I was good, and the only way they would to get their way back at me was to kick me, and kick me bad, and call me names. And it was hurtful because I never said anything. I never told anybody. I just, the only way I'm going to beat them is by football. Many of my friends wouldn't have taken what I taken. They would admit, I'm stubborn, but I knew responsibility was, if I'd shown that stubbornness, if I'd shown that, nah, I'm not taking this, who are you talking to? That behaviour, oh, we can't have that kind of tolerance. Yeah? You obviously don't fit here, Paul. That's me gone. That's my opportunity, a dream, out of the window. Yeah. So that's the reason why I just behold and took every little rubbish or crap that was given me. You know what? Can't change it. I've learned from it. I enjoyed part of it, and some of it was difficult. Would I have been truant? Would I have been a troublemaker? Would I have been a bully? Yeah, I don't know. Because football, I live for it. It wasn't just the football. Any sport, running, cricket, I was good at. And not trained, I was natural. As a young boy, a teenage boy, and the troubles you used to go to, football meant a lot for me. And it probably got me out of a lot of trouble. Yeah. Kept me out of a lot of trouble, not got me, kept me out of a lot of trouble.
I think what's so exciting and something that we should look back on and smile is how the Windrush generation has set a foundation for those of us today. If we think about our cultural differences, but how we are now cohesive and we bring those together and use that for our advantage and the advantage of others, how we celebrate and we share different things, but also how we experience things that we may never have experienced otherwise. And this is why the Windrush generation should never be forgotten.
This is the play area, always been here.
Okay, it's big.
You're going to see, yes, this is a big part.
Yeah.
On a Sunday,
Nice.
every family, like you said, the community used to come out.
Right.
So there's the track there, right over the other side over there.
Yeah.
I remember obviously, did I run 1,500 metres? I
Not
thought it was
sport.
800. Yeah, I was a runner. I've done the 800, no, 1,500, but I thought it was 800. So I pelted, left them, thinking it's the last lap. When I went to the finish, they said to me, Paul, no, you got one more. Oh, you what? And then one girl, she kind of helped me. She said, Paul, if you win, I'll give you a kiss. Well, hey, initiative I needed, I went. So I remember this part wholly. I used to enjoy totally. Wow. This part was the end thing, if you were talking about.
And it was buzzing.
It was buzzing, man. Back then, I was playing about 2-3 games a day. You can't do that now. Mad. Wow. That's what I was excited. I was like, yeah, I played. And I played for the next game straight after my age group, for the older boys. I won Sunday. It was funny. I played the Sunday side, Gunnersbury. Then I had to play for the district side. I went district. But by half time, legs couldn't move. I was on, fuel. Energy was like,
Paul's story is an absolute testament to this. When we think about how he grew up and the challenges he faced, but also listening to his story, we can hear and we can see the joy in his face when he remembers the times that he was part of a community, when he felt that he belonged, and how this has shaped his childhood, but also shaped him as an adult today.
yeah, this is a game at Crystal Palace. That was my debut, my first game.
Wow.
We won 1-0. I'll never forget that game. The tourist setting that gave me enough stick when I played here, home games.
The thing about it is, we were different, maybe slightly outsiders, right? And it was something about, that was a big thing about me at the time. I'd come down, I'm okay, I'm fine with everyone, but I'm an outsider. And I thought, and this is important, I thought I was an outsider that had to show people it's okay to be an outsider. But nobody was giving me grief. You were the ultimate outsider.
You know what?
And you were getting grief.
Dugout back then when I was playing, it was on the right hand side. And when the manager said, "Cannons, go and warm up," I hated to go and warm up. Generally that east side, the fans used to give me
Just when you was warming up?
just warming up. Now we used to have the green just behind the goal post. And you used to like to go behind the goal, stretches and warming up at the sideline and hearing the abuse and thinking, wow, it's the Palace fans trying to put me off here now, mate, you know. But then to turn around and then find it wasn't, it was my own fans. That was hard. What I had to prove and how I had to prove it. Losing 3-0, sitting in the dugout. Second half, I told straight to come on.
Out wide on the left and involved early. Oh, what a start!
I scored in 11 seconds, second half. And that was it. The riot went from there. We went 3-1, 3-2, 3-0, and I scored the fourth.
Nixon to chase, he'll get there. Oh, he's found Cannaville! Chelsea have done it!
But the game finished 4-4, but that was a comeback of all comebacks.
So that match felt very different.
The shed-in, literally, when they were singing my name, captain, it was Colin Pace. And he mentioned, Cannons, did you hear that? They're singing your name, man. You're one of us. And I had to tell him, but I've always been one of you. Oh. You know what I mean? Professionally, you're not supposed to expect that. I'm not expecting that. But boy, did I get a wake-up call. Yeah. I got a wake-up call, man. Oh. Well, trust me, I can name the names, but I didn't want to use them right now. It was that bad.
So you talked about your early years, and then you talked about, obviously, you're playing football in the early years, and then your injury.
Health played a major part. You can imagine going through the rehabilitation and trying to get fit again. Well, specialists told you, don't think you'll be able to continue playing, being a professional footballer.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that at all. So I worked hard to strengthen the knee and get your fitness back. And when you get that word from the manager telling Paul, you know what, we're not going to renew your contract. It's up to you whether you want to retire earlier or just run out your contract. And I took retirement. That was hard. From having to be a professional for 5 years and enjoying and just breaking through, making sure people recognise and know Paul now. All right, didn't want to leave Chelsea, but you know what I mean? It's a club that appreciates you. It was ready. And to know if I did, you know what I mean, injury-free, how far I would have gone.
Yeah.
I've got to think of it like that. So, yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Are you happy to talk about what happened after that? What did your life look like after that,
Oh,
after
man.
such a career in football?
Being, you know what, humble, but at the time, it was a difficult period. Not being able to play football. Now, having to find a 9-to-5 job because you have now bills to pay. How are you about to pay them for? And I wasn't aware of depression. And I wasn't aware, I didn't think, Paul's a happy-go-lucky, I don't get depressed. But it does. It can affect anybody.
Of course.
I got involved in drugs. It wasn't a case that I wanted to. It was passed to me, and I was a bit distraught that this was past me because everybody knows I don't. But it came to me and it went, ooh, and it kind of relaxed me.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, because I was taking in so much in my head. It was eating, and it was hurting, but I wasn't letting anybody know it was hurting. Because of how I was brought up, I never opened up. So therefore, I never communicated with my mum. So
Everything
anybody
was inside.
was never gonna hear anything. But when I went to that rehab, I had to talk to the counsellor. That was, said, counsellor? I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, talk who? I ain't talking to nobody in my business. Man asked me, so why are you here? I beg your pardon? Are you stupid? This is a rehab. Why do you think I'm here? I thought that was a ridiculous question. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
My man got me. My man brought up my mum, my kids, job. He hit every nerve in me that made me come out. I couldn't wait for this man every week to come to share. You see the shoulders now? It was going down now.
Right.
It was not heavy anymore.
You didn't have to carry everything
Oh
anymore.
my God,
You could let go of some of that burden.
I was walking so light because I opened up and shared, and that was really building and hurting me. When I was ill,
after rehab and stuff.
This was the big one, about 4 years ago, man. I didn't realize how serious it was. I went in one little thing, and I was in pain. I had nobody here with me. I was trying to find. I was in the hospital from 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when they done the x-ray and they found something, said they're gonna operate right away. What? But no, 5 o'clock, countdown, 99, 8, gone. When I was told this, you've got to imagine, understand, COVID time, so nobody's allowed in the hospital to visit you. I'm told I had 3 operations one time, one after the other. And the first one, then they found something else, went in again, second time. Then they saw something else. And they said, we can't operate a third time. That's too risky for you. How do you think they found it operated? I'm in a coma. Sit up right like this. I coughed. Opened up. There's our opportunity. And that's how they operated the third time, because I coughed and that opened up. When I came out to recover, I was like a baby again. I couldn't walk. I was literally dragging my feet because I couldn't learn to walk. I had to learn to walk again. That was mad. Life is life.
Right.
If you don't understand what I was going through, you'll never know.
Paul, what a life.
My health problems and the health that I've had, the cancer, illness, not embarrassed to talk about, has helped me to open up now. It's helped me to spoke and be spoken and speak up for things right now. It really has. It's given me strength. You know, and if that's something I see and I disagree and I don't like, I'm going to say something. If I'm wrong, I'll put my hand up and apologise. But if there's something I see that I don't, I'm going to say, prove me wrong. So this is where we are.
Even if everyone seems to be disagreeing with you kind of need to say it. You know, even if people are close to you, you need to stand up and just talk. You know, and that's, I think, what over these years I've sat and watched you just grow and grow and grow and talk and share this and give it out to people, and we need to keep on doing it. And it doesn't care who we are. It doesn't matter who we are, does it?
I always loved the way you come about and come across. And that's the reason why I think we're friends and close. You know? And I can get emotional.
No, no, hey, but never stop the fight.
You know what I mean? So good.
Never stop the fight. Never stop.
I can't even imagine what it must feel like to think about the abuse that you got and how difficult that was, but then to now be in a suite that's named after you.
I am honoured. The main part of the stadium is the Cannibal Suite. 2022.
Okay.
I could say, you know what I mean? So
Thank you.
I love this picture when I saw it put up and it was in pieces. Here's the main suite, the biggest suite
Thank
here
you.
at the club, and yeah, it's the Cannibal Suite, which is outside, well, from the shed end. It's nice when I walk through here, just quickly and say hi, and they watch me. He said, "Can I tell you?" And want a picture, and want an autograph.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling. I'm not going to
Good.
lie to you.
Yeah.
It is a nice feeling, and people from all over the world come.
So is that the times that sometimes, does it hit you at those times going, yeah, that was me, I was the first?
It does, you know, but it's to recognise and remember, and they let me know, they remind me, and I enjoy that. Don't get me wrong, I do. I'd be lying if I didn't.
When you think about the future now, because we talked obviously a lot about the past,
Yeah.
what do you hope or see for the future for you?
I love Chelsea, love my football, I will always that. So it is a case of giving back in our community when needed, when wanted, and I find that so important. I love where the foundation is going at this moment, and I love it to be widespread, not just here in England. We know it's all over at this moment, especially in America. Nice fan base that recognise what the work we do, and it's not just me. I was better than Ian Wright, Ronaldo, and quite a few of them. I had skill. Proper. Yeah. Do I watch my games? I always go over my games. It was a case of what I could have done better. And most of the time, which will probably come into it, because it was a case of, oh my gosh, if I didn't have done that, if I had done this better, they would have supported me more. I was always concerned about the fans.
To see his journey and how that then developed into this sense of belonging, this sense of community that he's so passionate about, the allyship that he's helped to create, really, and be part of.
What you showed was a confidence, an honesty, a purity of, I'll just do the right thing. I'll do what's right.
Yeah.
I've got more about my humanity than you've got, and I will just do it.
Do the right
and you can keep on doing what is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was sitting back going,
Yeah.
well, I know what I think of you lot, and I know what I think of him.
Yeah.
I don't know whose side I'm on. And that's why, when I talk about things and I'm writing and things like that, I always think about one thing. We're all an outsider in some way, right? But it doesn't mean you should try and be like everyone else. That was the thing, Paul. You didn't know it. You were being yourself. Every season's different, don't get me wrong. Especially when you call Black History Month. I love that. It's a month that I'm kind of busy. It's a month that I can share. It's a month that you can talk about stories of Paul's life and so forth, and what the foundation can offer.
I think that's why people relate to you, because you're very real and you're just telling your
I
life
just enjoy
story.
it. I do say it as it is, and it's not theatrical, and it can be sometimes therapeutic for me.
Good.
Because, all right, now I think the education department now wants to stress a bit more with the kids about addiction, about drugs.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I don't know about that. Going over it was like, but I had to share it. I couldn't go too deep with him, but I had to share him, look, what it does to you, the effects it does, you know what I mean? Where do you think you go? The Moorish, the amount of money that's lost spending on it and so forth. And I was like, I had to tell him.
But Paul, this is what I mean. So yes, it's very, very important. Like if you've got kids in a classroom and you teach them in a lesson, things like that are important.
Yeah.
Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if they have someone like you come in and say, listen, I'm teaching you for experience,
Yeah.
it's completely different. They listen differently.
And I understand that, you know.
Understand it.
I didn't understand it first, but I do now. I share now, and I think, you know what, they need to hear this, Paul.
Yeah.
Aspect from cancer to drugs to racism to bullying, I've gone and done this. I can only share the effects it has. And that's where I am at this moment. And I just think it's so important, especially for our young generation. I really do have to know that story.
Can I just kind of bring everything together and say, what would you say for a younger person now? What has all of these experiences done for you? So, you know, your childhood, the football experiences, the drug addiction, the cancer diagnosis. Who has that made you today?
It shows me, and that word, resilience.
Okay.
Get knocked down and you pick yourself up again.
Honestly, I was looking forward to today, but it's been better than I thought it was going to be, because just meeting you and getting to know you as a person, I'm thinking, wow, like you've been so real and so raw and so open. And it's just made me think of lots of things as well, and the work I do, and, you know, how I can even improve on the things that I'm doing as well. And I have so much respect for you. I really do, seriously. And just to see you smiling and just still doing all of these things, I wasn't expecting the impact that Paul's story had on me. It's made me think more about community. It's made me think more about allyship. It's made me think more about belonging. And it's really made me think about, as a whole, what can we do to ensure that the systems that we're part of in life bring together those three aspects, not just for our younger generation, but for everybody in everyday life.
But actually coming in and sharing, and to see their face with amazement, and that when I do share, it is important for me. It's a joy.
Chelsea! Canaville! Canaville! Canaville!